Good morning, one and all present here. I welcome you all for this online class on transmission and distribution. We were dealing with module number 2, that is regarding the inductance. Okay, so can anyone tell me the equation related to inductance of a single phase two-wire line? What is the equation? What is the equation for a single phase two-wire line? Can anyone let me know? Yes, anyone in the meeting? Can anyone let me know what is the equation of a single phase two-wire line?
Inductance is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 7 into ln of d by r1 dash.
Okay, correct. Now, what is R1 dash?
It is the imaginary radius.
Okay, imaginary or fictitious radius. It is given by 0.7788 times the value of R, right? That is the original radius of the conductor, right? So now, how do you calculate loop inductance? How do we calculate loop inductance?
Two into inductance of conductors.
Correct. So why it is 2 times? Why it is called as 2 times?
Sir, it is for go and return path.
Very good answer. Right. So now, what we are going to discuss in today's class, it is regarding the flux linkages of one conductor in a group, and then we are going to extend our derivation to inductance of a composite conductors that is in the transmission lines. Okay, so these two derivations are important, and we are going to highlight a term called as the GMR, which is geometric mean radius, and we are going to call one more term, that is GMD, that is geometric mean distance. So I want every one of them to pay attention because the next derivation I'll be leaving it to you, such that you will be understanding the derivation part of this class, and then you are going to extend it to the same for the remaining. Okay, so let us start this derivation, which we generally call it as the flux linkages of one conductor. Okay, so we call it as the flux linkages of one conductor in a group. Okay, so let me begin the derivation. Flux linkages of one conductor in a group. Okay, so this is the well-known derivation for the flux linkages. If I want to calculate the next one, if the conductors are equally spaced, so why it is important? So the next derivations, which is equal spacing of conductors. So next we have unsymmetrical or unequal spacing of conductors. Okay, so we are calling it as unsymmetrical spacing. All right, so what we discussed with the fundamentals is, first we are going to have this inductance. Okay, so the inductance is given by the flux linkage divided by the value of the current. Okay, so this is the well-known equation to everyone. So you have the flux linkage and the current which is flowing in the conductor. All right, so now what do I need to consider here? I need to consider a composite conductor. Okay, so the composite conductor. So I can say that considering, so I'll write it as consider a composite conductor. Consider a composite conductor. All right, so consider a composite conductor. So which has, okay, so strands. Okay, so what do you mean by strands? It is nothing but two or more conductors which are together. Okay, so we call it as bundled, or we call it as strands. So the number of strands which are there in the conductor is nothing but the composite conductor, or we call it as the bundled conductors there. All right, so which has two or more strands, two or more strands, two or more strands. Okay, so I consider a composite conductor which is made up of two or more strands connected in parallel, connected in parallel. All right, so I call this as a composite conductor. So here, what is the derivation, what I'm going to prove here? So it is the flux linkages of a point P, so where many conductors are linked there. Okay, so many conductors are linked there. I'm going to call it, and I'm going to take the derivation into consideration. All right, so let me start right now with respect to the composite conductor which has two or more strands connected in parallel. Okay, so all the conductors, or all the strands, all the strands, all the strands. Okay, so for simplicity, we are going to call all the strands are said to be identical, are identical, identical, and equal current sharing, equal current sharing, equal current sharing. Okay, so such that the currents, such that the currents are zero, such that the currents are zero. That is nothing but the currents flowing in the conductors are said to be zero. All right, so now what I'm going to call here is, I'm going to call a point P, and I'm going to have a conductors that are there here. That is the first conductor, that is the second one, this is the third one. So like that, we are having n number of conductors which are present here. Okay, so that is calling it from this point, that is, yeah. Okay, so D1P, D2P, and D3P. This is DNP. So we have n such conductors. So I said that all the conductors are connected in parallel. So I have a point P where I need to take the flux linkage into consideration. So from the center of the conductor here, I'm drawing it, and this is the point P which is present here. All right. So now these conductors, okay, these conductors carry current, I1, I2, I3, and up to point IN. Okay, so let the distances be D1P. Yeah, any doubts? Manojam? Okay, so if you have any doubts, do let me know so that I could clarify it. So I have this point P, and all the currents which are there are having currents I2, I1, I1, I2, and I3, and these currents are nothing but IN. So these currents, the conductors carry currents I1, I2, I3, and let the distances from point P, okay, D1P, D2P, next D3P, next DNP. Okay, so let the distances of the conductors from point P. So these are the distances from point P. Distances from point P. Distances from point P. All right. So let in the next one. So I want to talk about the flux. Let phi 1 P1. Okay, phi 1 P1 be the flux linkage. Be the flux linkage of point, okay, flux linkage of point P. So that is flux linkage of point P from conductor 1, okay, from conductor 1 due to its own current. Due to its own current. Due to its own current, that is I1 due to internal and external flux. Due to internal and external flux. Due to internal and external flux. Okay, so now how can I write phi 1 P1? How can I write phi 1 P1? I can write it as I1 divided by 2, okay, plus 2 into I1, okay, plus ln of D1P divided by R1, okay, D1P divided by R1, so into 10 power minus 7. So how did I write this? So I can take the current also into consideration. I can write it outside also. I can write it as 1 by 2 plus I1. Okay, so that is 1 minute. Yeah, so ln of D1P divided by R1. So I can write it like this, and I can have I1 into 10 power minus 7, or else I can also take 2 as a common factor and I can write 1 by 4. So that is the further steps which are there. So if I want to write it including due to internal and external flux alone, okay, due to internal and external flux alone, okay, so I'll be writing it like this. So due to internal and external flux. Got it? So this is the equations which are there here as phi 1 P1. Okay, so phi 1 P1 be the flux linkage of point 3 from conductor 1 due to its own current I1 due to internal and external flux. Okay, so further I can reduce it to 2 into, yeah, so the further reduction would be like this. So I can write it as 2 into 10 power minus 7 into I1 ln of D1P divided by R1 dash. So hope did you understand how did I write this equation? That is phi 1 P1. So I can write it as 2 into 10 power minus 7 into I1 ln of D1P divided by R1 dash. Okay, so now I want to write it as the next one, that is phi 1 P2, that is due to the conductor 2. So flux linkage of conductor 1, okay, due to the current in I2, okay, flux linkage of conductor 1, flux linkage. So I can write as flux linkage of conductor 1 due to I2. Flux linkage of conductor 1, okay, due to current I2. Due to current I2. Okay, due to current I2. Okay, so it is equal to flux produced by flux produced by I2 between the point P and conductor 1, between the point P and conductor 1. Okay, so how I can write it? So phi 1 P2, that would be equal to 2 into 10 power minus 7 ln of, okay, ln of what is it? So it is written as D2P divided by D12. So why I have written it as D12 is, let me show you here. So this is the conductor 1, okay, so due to the current I2, so I should take this distance here, so which is D12. Okay, so next if I want to write it, this would be D13, okay, and D1n. So this is the point P which is there, and I need to take it with respect to the first conductor which I am writing here. All right, so I should write it as phi 1 P2, that would be equal to 2 into 10 power minus 7 ln of D2P divided by D12. Okay, so if I want to write it over all the points, okay, so taking the first conductor, so the flux linkage of first conductor of first conductor due to current in all conductors due to current in all conductors in the group in the group but the flux beyond P is neglected. But the flux beyond point P is neglected. All right. So how I can write it? So I'll write it as phi 1P. That would be equal to 2 into 10 power minus 7. Okay. So under the bracket, I need to write down with respect to all the conductors that are there up to point n. Okay. So up to point n, I should write it. So let me take the conductors here as I1 ln of D1P. Okay, D1P divided by R1 dash, okay, plus the next conductor that is due to the current I2, okay. So I2 ln of D2P divided by D12. So why did I write a D12? I need to take the first conductor and the second conductor distance which is there. So this is 1 and this is 2 and this is D12. What is the distance between the two conductors? All right, next plus I3 ln of D3P divided by D13. Okay, I'm taking the first conductor with respect to the third conductor distance that is there here. Okay, plus up to the point n plus. Okay, so I can write it as In ln of DNP divided by D1n. Okay, so up to the nth conductor I am taking it. Okay, so up to the nth conductor. All right, so I am writing it like this now. So you have to expand the logarithmic terms. Okay, so you have to expand the logarithmic terms, whatever that is there. So I'll be dividing it as ln a by b. Okay, so that would be a ln a minus ln b. All right, so I'm writing it like this. Okay, so what happens here is, so I'll be writing it as the simple terms which is there as the division property here. So I can write it as 1 by b into a also. Okay, so that would be ln of 1 by b plus ln a. Okay, so I can write it like this. Getting it right? So this is how I need to express the values which are there with respect to the natural logarithms. All right, so I'll be writing it as phi 1p. That would be equal to 2 into 10 power minus 7. You can expand it. I1 ln of 1 divided by R1 dash plus I2 ln of 1 divided by D12 plus I3 ln of 1 divided by D13 plus up to In ln of 1 divided by D1n. Okay, plus I1 ln of D1P plus I2 ln of D2P plus I3 ln of D3P plus In ln of DNP. Okay, up to this point I should write it. Okay, so now what I can do here is the sum of all currents is 0. The sum of all currents is 0. I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus In, that would be equal to 0. So I can write it as In, that would be equal to minus I1 plus I2 plus I3 up to the point plus, okay, up to the point plus In minus 1. Got it? So this is how I need to write the sum of all the currents. I need to take into consideration where I'll be representing In as these terms. Okay, fine. So now I need to substitute In over there. Okay, In, what I'll be getting here as In ln of DNP. This term I need to represent it. Okay, and I'll be writing it like this. So phi 1p that would be equal to 2 into 10 power minus 7. Okay, I1 ln of 1 divided by r1 dash plus I2 ln of 1 divided by d12 plus in ln of 1 divided by d1n plus I1 ln of d1p, okay, plus I2 ln of d2p plus, okay, up to minus I1 minus I2 and minus, okay, up to minus IN minus 1, okay. So ln of DNP, okay, up to this point I will be taking it. So this is one of the terms and this is D1P. So this is the other term which is there, okay. So next one, what I'll be doing here is I'll be grouping the terms here. Okay, so I'll be grouping the terms phi 1p. So what I'll do here, I'll be grouping the terms in such a way that I'll be getting the equations as d1p divided by this term. So if I multiply it with this summation term, I'll be getting it like here. So that would be 2 into 10 power minus 7. So that is I1 a ln of 1 divided by R1 dash, okay, plus I2 a ln of 1 divided by D12 plus, okay, plus IN a ln of 1 divided by D1N, okay. So I1 which is that I'll be getting it as plus I1 ln of D1P divided by DNP, okay, plus I2 ln of D2P divided by DNP, okay, plus IN minus 1 ln of DN minus 1 into P divided by DNP, okay. So I'll be writing the terms like this, okay. So up to this point, if you have any doubts, do let me know, because the next term what we are going to get here, so we'll be taking the infinite distance and we are going to conclude it. Any doubts up to this point, anyone? Any doubts up to this point? Any doubts, you can let me know. If you have any doubts, you can let me know right now. Okay, so let's move on to the concluding part. So if point P is at a infinite distance, if a point P is at an infinite distance such that the ratios d1p divided by dnp comma d2p divided by dnp will approach unity, will approach unity and ln of d1p divided by dnp comma ln of d2p divided by dnp, okay, up to this point will approach 0, okay. So we can write the equations as okay. How can we write the equations? We can write the equations as, so how are we going to write the equations? We are going to write the equations as phi 1p, that would be equal to 2 into 10 power minus 7 I1 ln of 1 divided by R1 dash plus I2 ln of 1 divided by D12 plus up to the point plus IN ln of 1 divided by D1N. Okay, so I can write R1 dash, so which is the radius, which is the fictitious radius. I can write it as to represent the conductor distance within, like taking the conductor into consideration. So what it is, so I have a conductor like this and I take its radius. This is the first conductor. Okay, so the distance would be R. Now the imaginary radius, that would be R dash, that would be taken here. So what it is 0.7788 into R1, okay, fictitious radius. So this is nothing but the distance from the center of the conductor, which I take it as D11. Okay, so what happens there is phi 1p, that would be equal to, okay, that would be equal to 2 into 10 power minus 7. Okay, so I can write it as I1 ln of 1 divided by D11 plus I2 ln of 1 divided by D12, okay, plus up to the point plus I'll be writing it as In ln of 1 divided by D1n. Okay, so what I'm going to represent here, I have represented the change which is D11 and this one is R1 dash. Okay, so this is the slight change what I have given here with respect to the given conductor. Okay, so this is for conductor 1. This is for conductor 1. Okay, so I'll be writing it as phi 1p, that would be equal to 2 into 10 power minus 7, and this term which is represented here. Okay, so the above equation, okay, I mean this equation, that is phi 1p, that can be represented as 2 into 10 power minus 7. So can I write it like sigma? That would be I is equal to, that would be I is equal to 1 to I is equal to n, that is I ln of 1 divided by T1I. Okay, so that would be Weber turns per meter. Weber turns per meter. So this is the compact way of representing. Okay, this is the compact way of representing the flux linkages. Representing the flux linkage equation. The flux linkage equation. The flux linkage equation. All right. So all the flux linkages of conductor 1 are included and it is equal. So this term is equal. Okay. So when I write the sum of the currents, currents which will be equal to 0. Okay, which will be equal to 0. Okay, so all the flux linkages of conductor 1 are included. All right, so fine then. Up to this point we have covered it. Any doubts up to this point, anyone? Any doubts up to this point? Before we move on to the next one, any doubts, do let me know, or else we'll move on to the derivation. Okay, if there are no more doubts, I move on to the next equations, that is inductance. That is, this is also one of the important derivations. You might expect it for the internals. Inductance of composite conductor lines. Okay, inductance of. So later, I mean, the first thing what we did was the flux linkage, and this one is the inductance of composite conductor lines. Okay, so what we shall do here is, so we will be having the conductors, that is A, B, and C. Okay, and you will be having any such conductors which are there, and its return path, I'll be writing it as the conductors like A dash, B dash, and C dash, and the return conductor is taken as Y. That's not X dash, we take it as the other one, which is Y. So I write it as A, I write it as B, and write it as C. This one is A dash, and this one is B dash, and this one is C dash, and this one is Y, and this one is X. Okay, so I write it like this to represent the single phase two wire system. So I am having P conductors. So this is the number of conductors is P, and this one, the number of conductors, the composite conductors is said to be Q. All right. So what I'm going to do here, so we shall consider single phase two wire system. So it consists of two conductors, say P and Q. Okay, so consists of two conductors, say P and Q, which are composite conductors. Okay, so which is shown in this figure. So I have this one, I mean this inside the conductors we have parallel filaments also. So these are said to be the parallel filaments here. Okay, so considering conductor P, which is consisting of X identical parallel filaments, each filament, okay, each of the filament carries a current of I by X. Okay, so suppose if I have a conductor P, it carries a current I, and each current is said to be equally distributed, and each filament will carry a current of I divided by X. Okay, so carries a current of I divided by X. Similarly, conductor Q consists of Y filament, with each filament carrying a current of, yes. Now you tell me, what is the current that is flowing here? Carrying a current of, what should be the current? Anyone in the meeting can let me know what would be the current? Lavanya, what is the current? Sagar PS? What is the current here? Is anyone? Swati Hebar? What is the current? Yeah, what is the current? Swati Hebar?
Sir, I by
Yeah, I by
X.
Okay, why this negative sign? Minus I by Y. Why do we have negative sign? Why do we have negative sign? Anyone? Why do we have negative sign? Because if you don't understand this one, the remaining derivations which are there will be difficult to understand. Why do we have negative sign? Why we have a negative sign? So we have the conductor Y. Conductor Y is said to be in the opposite direction of that of X. So conductor Y, the current flowing in the conductor Y is said to be in the opposite direction. opposite direction, okay, opposite direction to the current in the conductor conductor X. Conductor X. So it is forming a return path. So this one which forms a return path. All right. So this one forms the return path. Okay. Now, before we find out the inductance of filament A, okay, and then filament B. So what we'll do is we'll find the flux linkage due to all the current in the filament. Okay. The flux linkages of filament A of filament A of filament A due to currents in all the filaments. In all the filaments is given by 2 into 10 power minus 7. Okay, so now the current in one of the filament I by X. Okay, so you have current I by X to be same in all the filaments because all the filaments here are said to be having the parallel way. So it is equally divided as I by X. Okay, so the current and also the distance ln of 1 divided by dAA. Okay, so plus I divided by X. So with respect to conductor A, the second conductor, I'll be writing it as ln of 1 divided by dAB plus I by X ln of 1 divided by dAC. Okay, so I'll be writing it like it, and I'll be writing it as I by X ln of 1 divided by dAX. Okay, I'll be writing it like this. Fine. So next, what I'll be doing here is, so the return path. So this is the forward path of current, and next one I have the return path plus 2 into 10 power minus 7. So the negative current. Okay, so that is minus I by Y. We call it as the return path. Okay, return path. Again, I'll be having the same distance, that is ln of 1 divided by dAA. Okay, plus ln of, yeah, again the current, I missed out the current, I by Y ln of 1 divided by dAB plus minus I by Y ln of 1 divided by dAC. Okay, so I'll be writing it like this, and I'll be having plus minus I by Y ln of 1 divided by dAY. Okay, so dA into Y. Okay, so I'll be writing it over here. So what I'll be doing is 2 into 10 power minus 7 into I divided by X ln of 1 divided by dAA plus ln of 1 divided by dAB plus ln of 1 divided by dAX. Okay, so I'll be writing it like this, and minus 2 into 10 power minus 7, that is I divided by Y ln of 1 divided by dAA dash. Okay, plus ln of, okay, 1 divided by dAB dash. Okay, plus ln of 1 divided by dAY. Okay, so I'll be writing it next as this, I ln of 1 divided by dAA 1 by X plus ln of 1 divided by dAB 1 by X okay, minus 2 into 10 power minus 7 into I ln of 1 divided by dAA dash 1 divided by Y. So hope did you know how did I write this? Ln of 1 divided by dAB dash 1 by Y plus ln of 1 divided by dAY times 1 by Y. Okay, so I'll be writing it like this. So next one, I need to group the terms to make it under a simple logarithmic rule. I'll be writing it as 2 into 10 power minus 7 into I ln of, okay, root Y divided by Okay, I've got it like this. Now, the inductance of filament A, that is given as phi A divided by I divided by X, that would be equal to 2x into 10 power minus 7 ln of, yeah, this terms which are there, that is root Y d a dash d a b dash d a y divided by x, that is root of d a d a b into d a x. Okay, I got it here. Similarly, if I want to write L, that would be phi b divided by I divided by x, that would be equal to 2ix into 10 power minus 7 ln of this term. Okay, ln of, if I write A, so only I need to replace it as B. So root of Y D B A dash D B B dash D B Y. Okay, divided by root X D B A D B B into D B X. Okay, I'll write it like this. Okay, so I can get this and I'll be finding out the average inductance later. So up to this point, you can remember this, and let me stop the recording right now. In the next class, we will continue.